Christ. I once heard a story of a man. He was a preacher and who decided to give a literal interpretation to this the gospel of today, and so announced to his congregation and to the world through the newspapers that he is going to walk on water. And he said, I have faith in God. And just as Jesus commanded Peter to walk on water because he had faith and Peter walked on water, so he is also to walk on water. And so this man arranged the day that this had to happen, and they got a flying boat deep into the sea, and he asked the flying boat, he asked them, and they said, it's good we have a rescue team around. And he said he doesn't need a rescue team because he believes so much in God and he has faith in God. Unfortunately for this man, when he stepped out of the flying boat, he went deep into the water and they couldn't even rescue him. And so he died in the process. And sometimes also in our lives, we might look at the gospel and we want to give a literal interpretation, or we think that because we have faith in God, certain things have to happen the way they have to be, or might be the way I think it has to be. Faith is not about my own abilities, but it's about a complete trust and surrender into God. It's not about the fact that I believe in God and then I just need to start performing miracles or start doing things because I have a strong faith in God. No. It is about a complete surrendering of our will, of our mind, of our heart, of everything about us to God, and we ask Him to direct us. We ask Him to show us the way. And it is about looking at our environment in which we find ourselves, especially during this COVID pandemic, within the context of the lockdown and the challenges and difficulties that people are going through, and then we are able to say, Jesus, I trust in you. Jesus, I have faith in you, despite all what is happening, because I know you can heal us. I know you have a reason why you've permitted this to happen. That is the kind of faith we talk about. It will be foolhardy for me to say I have faith in God and so I'll stand on the railway and let the train come and pass and then I will not be affected. That would be stupidity, or like the preacher who decided to walk on water and sank and died. So our total faith has to be in the person, and that faith is in the person who is Jesus Christ. And that faith must be built by a concrete relationship with Jesus Christ. If we look at Jesus, he had a concrete relationship with his Father. And that is why after he had made the disciples go into the boat, then he went on, he sent the crowd away, and then he went on to pray. And at evening, then he descended to meet the disciples. In that sense, that relationship which he had with his Father, and that relationship was built on prayers. Contemplative prayers gave him the opportunity to trust more in his Father and to understand what his Father wanted of him. We too, we need that kind of faith that we can trust in God always, and that despite the situations in which we find ourselves, we understand that God has a reason for the things that happen to us. In that sense, we allow everything in his hands. Today gives us an opportunity to pray through the great apostles, Peter and Paul, when we are celebrating the dedication of the basilicas of Saints Peter and Paul in Rome. It gives us an opportunity to pray and ask them to intercede for us, especially for our country and for the world at large when we are suffering the present pandemic. Let their intercession be able to give us what God wants of us at this moment. And let us also surrender ourselves and trust in the Lord always, because he is there for us and he will always answer our prayers according to his will.